episode of Wrong About Sports. I am Vikings fan Karla Bigham,
And I'm Bears fan Luke Hellier.
and we are wrong about
Sports.
sports. So, Luke, thank you so much for joining us today. Brian had a scheduling conflict, but true to form, when I'm on the show, we do not allow Packer fans on. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that's good.
And
Hey,
so you were the first person that I thought of to say, hey, come on in and let's talk about the Bears, which we will in a second. But first, we do have to recognize our proud sponsor, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association, helping small mom and pop liquor stores since 1952. So if you're going to be watching these really good championship Sunday games and this frigid weather before you know, uh, settle in, make sure you stop at one of the liquor stores that has a sticker for the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association.
and
So,
Lakeville Liquors now has DoorDash, so you don't
oh,
even have to leave your house.
nice shameless plug there.
Well, they remember. Yeah.
um, so before we go kind of over like the Bears game last week, and then there's an update with the Vikings on their defensive coordinator. So maybe we can highlight those. Let's talk about the coaching carousel a little
Yeah.
bit.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's been crazy. So we have I think the biggest one is where John Harbaugh left or landed. He got
Yeah.
fired from the Ravens. He's on the Giants. Smart
Yeah.
move.
And then if you're him, don't you wish you could have gone to Buffalo instead?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, Jackson Dart's a great quarterback, but he's not Josh Allen.
No.
So
And you got Scattaboo and you got neighbors,
yeah.
Malik neighbors.
Yep.
Both have had
Great
horrendous
players.
injuries. Yeah, they're great players, horrendous injuries. But I mean, the Giants are now a factor. I mean,
100%. Yeah. I mean, I thought they came on late. They looked fine. They are in a position to do well, especially for the like football guys they have on their team. So
yeah,
Harbaugh fits into that for sure. I mean, I think it's a
yeah,
great fit. I
yeah.
just, somebody said this I thought was very funny. It's like it looks like all owners are turning to Jerry Jones now. They're all getting a little nutty. And so I think we're
True.
starting to see that play out in the New York teams in both Buffalo and in New Jersey, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean Buffalo, at least at the time of this recording, is still interviewing. Good for them. I mean,
Well,
we'll
did you see who
see.
they just interviewed?
Philip Rivers, am I
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you
Old
gotta hire him.
man Rivers.
I mean, you hire him, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Why not? I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Who knows? And then I think the other two bigger names for the Falcons, Kevin
Yeah.
Stefanski, former offensive coordinator for the Vikings, I believe, or special teams. Was he special teams?
No,
No,
he might have been offensive.
he
Yeah,
was
no, he
offense.
was.
Another major upgrade in like credibility and also just ability to manage and coach,
Yeah,
a team for the Falcons. And
two-time
again,
coach of the year.
yeah, and I think they're now just like the Giants. Now we
Yeah.
got to talk about them.
Yep.
They
Yep.
have huge talent. I mean, Brian Robinson. What? I mean, so you got talent there. I mean, not so much in the quarterback, but
Well,
whatevs.
so that's what does Stefanski do, right? Does he stick with Penix? Do they shop Cousins around? I mean, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Cousins thinks he's going to be the next Tom Brady on the camera,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we'll see. And then just a guy who I think he's just let's just call it what it is. He's a badass. Uh, Robert Salia is going to Tennessee now. Do I think that makes them the same as the Giants and the Falcon? No, no.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
he
here's the deal.
does coach his team really well. And man, the 49ers, had they stayed healthy, and we'll talk about that, they would have been a factor. That defense
Yeah,
was bad.
yeah, he's a great coach. Here's what I'll say about the Titans. Like, don't you think to have a handsome, defensive-minded coach leading your team? Oh yeah, they did. His name is Mike Vrabel, and now he's in the AFC Championship. So maybe it's like they're trying to bring that deal back, which is fine. I think Bob Salah is a good coach. We'll see how he does there. I think he didn't have any tools with the Jets. So I give him a
No.
benefit of the doubt there that, can you really blame a guy for having literally no talent?
Yeah, and so do you have? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite coach in the NFL?
Ben Johnson.
And he might be coach of the year.
Yeah.
But
No, I
probably
mean
not. Vrabel probably will be. But so Ben
Jim
Campbell
Harbaugh.
is
Yeah, I mean, I like the weird one. I think Jim Harbaugh's great just because he's like the old school weirdo. If you can stick to the bit for 10 years that you won't eat chickens because they're an anxious animal, like I mean, you're
you're
a football guy.
focused, man.
Yeah,
You're
you're just
you're
a football guy.
dialed in. You're in the
Yeah.
zone. Mine is Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
He's my favorite one. I just adore him. And then the other one is Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. I like Brady.
And so I like both of them, and they just have like really bright futures, and I do think that I think it's weird. Speaking of coaches, the Packers kept their guy and extended him with all these options out there. Like now would have been a time to move on from him, and so I think that's going to be questionable. And the
I agree.
Lions need to rebuild, and they've just lost too many people. Such an up and down season, and then it's going to really be between. I mean, the Bears are just on. The future is theirs if they can
Yeah.
take this division. And so anyway, I think that's just a thought for next season. And then the other big news I think related to teams or non NFC North stuff and not championship Sunday stuff, Luke, is Indiana, the University of Indiana beat Miami.
Yeah. Big
What a
win.
game. Yeah, but it was it
Great
was a
game.
good game. And then of course, shocking to no one, the quarterback Fernando Mendoza is declared today that he is going to go for the draft. And I think Tom Brady just got his new QB1 because the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, have the number one pick.
Yeah. Well, let's start with this. Of course, the kid at a business college makes his announcement on LinkedIn, right? So he announced on LinkedIn that he's going to go into the draft, which to
He
me
ain't
is
gonna
just
go.
like it's so perfect because
Right.
he's just like a wholesome, good kid. It seems like. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I think I believe that. I think he's got a great family story. The fact that he plays for his mom who has MS and she's had a tough
Hmm.
adulthood for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Las Vegas is an interesting place for a guy like that to play. If Brady
Especially
was,
starting your career off.
yeah, if Brady wasn't there and kind of inserting himself, I would have said, now I saw a rumor today, this could be total like fake news, like social media hack,
Yeah.
that Mark Cuban offered him like 25 million to stay at Indiana or something, like whatever the equivalent of first pick money
Oh, for
is.
NIL.
Yeah.
Oof.
I don't know if that's real. That could have just been like one of those clickbaity things. But if that's true, that's also crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think he gets picked number one overall, or the Raiders traded for a bunch of picks. Now that you kind of know, who knows? I don't know what they're going to do.
And they
I
still
mean,
need a new coach because Pete
yeah.
Carroll's gone. So they need a new coach. But well, anywho, those are kind of some of the bigger news. So, let's talk about last Sunday.
So I
Uh
was like, when we were texting about doing this, I was like, well, I should probably rewatch the game because I was like
no.
so in the moment. And then I was like, I'm not going to do that. For me, like I've always said, when you hit 40 and you have bad sports teams you follow, you get to pick who you want to choose, right? You shouldn't have to
Uh-huh.
be late in life following crummy teams. So last year, I'm like, I turned 40, but then the Bears draft Caleb. So I'm like, all right, I'm back in. I was so
Mhm.
back in last year. The season wasn't great, but he's come along so much with Ben Johnson that
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
just even though they were 8-5 in one score games, the just like watching as a fan was so fun.
Mhm.
They could have won last week. I'm not going to hash. I mean, I don't know what DJ Moore was doing on that interception play, but
No,
Ben
but we do
Johnson,
know what Kemet was doing on that fourth down.
yeah.
Beautiful
Well,
play,
and
right into the end zone. Oh man, that just was that. Like I was jumping up screaming because I was like, "Holy, holy beep!"
I was too. I had an anytime touchdown for Loveland, and then I thought it
Yeah,
was him at first, and I realized he was out on an injury after that play, so I missed out on that. But that was unbelievable. And so those are just fun moments as a fan to have. But it's like I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to wait 40 years between Super Bowl wins. Oh, sorry, Vikings fan.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not as good as the Minneapolis Miracle. Never will
No,
be. No,
no,
that was one that will go with me to the grave.
no.
Yeah, I mean they came up short, but what a season! And I
Yeah,
said this to Brian McDaniel, like I mean, so much to be excited for, so much growth. Ben Johnson's been such an asset. I think it's good to get the answer that it's not a ownership culture thing.
yep,
It is just having that right
yeah.
motivator. That team played for him. I mean, all the pieces are there. And so it was fun to watch and everything to be proud of if you're a Bears fan, which after Vikings, it's like between the Steelers and Bears for me. But I do think that next season it'll be just fun to see if they can have that like the habit, I guess, if you will, of the
Yeah, the
fourth
magic.
quarter. Well,
Yeah.
the fourth quarter comeback and how do you change that? How do you be more consistent so that you don't have to be in those situations and you play the full 60 minutes, but keep that grit. And that's what
If
they
they
had. So
if they improve the defense in the offseason, which it needs badly, especially the D
yes.
line.
Yeah.
If you think about that, then in theory, you're not supposed to be behind as much in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
So I don't know if we'll have that. But I
Yeah.
will say, I mean, I think if everybody's healthy, the NFC North will be the most exciting division in football
Yep.
next year.
Yep.
Um, the Lions are going to become roaring back. The Vikings, if they can figure out the JJ McCarthy thing, will be
Yep.
fun. So, I mean, the Packers really today look like in the worst shape, I think.
I
Um,
agree. And then they
you
kept their coach.
yeah, I
Like,
and they were in a weird spot because he had a year left, and
yeah,
so that's you either have to extend him or fire him, right? You can't just like
yeah.
hang on to him for another year. And I would have moved on, but I
I would
think it's
have
good for
too.
the rest
Like
of us.
it's not that he's horrible, but
No,
sometimes you just need, a new mixer. Put it
yeah,
that way, right?
you just
So,
yeah. I mean, that's why there's a lot of good teams.
yeah.
Well, and that's why I say there's a lot of coaches who got fired and 2 days later had jobs. I
Right.
mean, that usually you're going to be out of season. I mean, look at McCarthy.
Yeah.
He's not on anybody's list because he's not
Nope.
that great of a coach.
No, no.
But
And then Brian Darable, the former
Drabble,
Giants,
Brian Dable,
Drabble,
yeah,
yeah, who got fired mid-season along with the Tennessee Titan coach. He's gonna land on the
for
remaining
sure.
teams that are open. I mean, so anyway, to your
I mean,
point,
all those guys. Sean McDermott will be a coordinator. Mike
mhm.
McDaniel will be a coordinator at a
He's
minimum.
with the Chargers. He got
Oh,
signed.
all right. I
Chargers.
didn't even see that news.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
I wish we would have had him. Like I was hoping we'd get McDaniels. He's just funny. Anyway,
Yeah,
news about the Vikings is Brian Flores is coming back. That's good news. I mean, providing I guess somebody doesn't nab him for a head coach job, but I think he wants to stay here. I actually
yeah,
think that big picture, this is good news. For the reason I keep popping in my head is if the Wilfs, the owners of the Vikings, are not so sure about Kevin O'Connell going into next year, like if he's skating on thin ice, which is cold that it is right now, we don't have thin ice. But anywho,
yeah,
um, he would be a logical like interim
yeah,
coach if they just say, "Ooh, I don't know what we're doing with the quarterback. We like some of what McCarthy's doing or KOC's doing, and yet we have Flores as a backup for sure, legit coach if we need to make something midseason. So might be a
yeah.
good checks and balance.
Well, and I think for sure, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's getting jammed up a little bit in that Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson prove that right now ownership wants to hire offensive guys first for head
Correct.
coach, right? And so
Correct.
that's just the trend right now, and that's what everybody's going to follow. And
Yeah.
that's probably why he didn't end up getting hired. Not because he can't be a head coach; it's just it's not good timing.
Yeah, yeah. So a little bit just recapping some of the other games last week. We said the Rams advanced, and then the other NFC is the 49ers and Seahawks. Seahawks took advantage of the injuries of the 49ers and they just were not healthy enough and just got dominated and
I didn't
you
see that
know
one coming. I mean, I
really.
didn't think the Niners were going to win. I didn't think they were going to get blown out. I mean,
Yeah, I fair point, but
yeah,
I thought Seahawks were going to win because and I'll say it again in a little bit here, but like that's a tough ass stadium to play in. It's
Yeah.
loud and it's anyway. And then of course, oof, Bills, Denver, Broncos. Man, there was nobody that wanted this worse than Josh Allen,
Yeah.
and his coach ended up getting fired over him after. But man, if you can't take advantage of a season that doesn't have Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Joe
Yeah.
Burrow, I mean, oof, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be our quarterback. Then you guys can all cry
Wouldn't that be wild?
in your
I mean,
Chicago deep pizza.
I think for the Bills were not good at all this year. It just was Josh Allen,
Yeah,
right? And that was why I bet on them every week into the playoffs because it was like they're not good, but Josh Allen, and he'll make
yeah.
stuff happen, and he did that in every game. So yeah, I feel bad for him, but yeah, you're right. I mean, not having to worry about Lamar and Mahomes and those guys, and it's like this was his moment. The Patriots, I don't think are great. They had the easiest schedule in the AFC. The Broncos had the second easiest schedule in the AFC. So
Hmm.
like, they had the easiest path to get where they are, and I think he could have beat either one. So that was a bummer, and that's just too bad.
Yeah, and then you had the Texans, Pats, Patriots, and this actually wasn't a surprise. I mean, I think the Patriots have been the most consistent team in the NFL, in my opinion. They have they're young. I mean, Drake
Yeah.
May is
Yep.
young, but man, he was fun to watch. And then I also, they just their defense is stellar. Not like the other ones aren't.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second, but they really took advantage of Stroud.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
Texas
Yep.
D was one of the best in the whole league, next to maybe the Broncos, but the Patriots just walloped that offense like no one's business.
5 interceptions for Stroud or
Yes,
4? Yeah, I
yes,
mean,
yeah,
I was watching that and some of those passes, it's just like they were in his head so far.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just out toughened him for sure. Out tough.
For sure, for sure. So that leads us to Championship Sunday. So everybody mark that down. Lockout Sunday
One
in
day.
the afternoon. It starts around 2 o'clock. First game is the Patriots versus the Broncos. Pats are slated to be favorites here by 3.5.
Yeah.
Um, this one is the reason I think everybody's going to be watching Sunday, because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So right after the game with the Broncos and Denver or Buffalo, the quarterback Bo Nix came out and was like, "Oopsies, broke my ankle."
Which is like the strangest thing is like he walked off the field. I don't know if the adrenaline
Yes,
rush or something, and then all of a sudden
I don't
Sean
know.
Payton says, "Oh yeah," and Bo Nix broke his foot or ankle. But then I did read after apparently he's had this same injury before, so that's probably why it's so quick. He probably knew,
Yeah,
I broke
yeah.
whatever.
I don't know. I've broken a foot, and I'm just telling you that it's hard to walk on it. I don't think I'd be anyway. But so he's out,
Yeah,
and then you have Jarrett Stidham. Did I say
sit
that
him,
right? Stidham,
sit him,
Stidham,
yeah,
Stidham.
sit him.
Yeah. So good luck.
For
You got to brag this guy up and pump him up because
former
he
Patriots
needs it.
backup,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm. Yep. So,
Yeah, I mean
oof.
a kid, not a kid. I mean he's been in the league a long time. We'll see. I mean, for me, like the Broncos all around are a really great football team. They did
Yep.
not get to the AFC Championship because of Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix is a fine quarterback.
Correct.
I bet you insert 10 other guys, starting guys in there, they probably do just as well.
Yeah,
Now,
and yeah, and let's hope. I mean, but all four of these teams, so both games have like amazing defense.
hmm
Exception Rams are probably the number 4 of 4,
yep.
but arguably you could say Broncos, Seahawks, Pats, Rams in that order, in my opinion. And I just think if that Broncos D can get in control of Drake May, which he's been pretty consistent, he's not had a lot of errors, at least that
hmm
I can recall or my research. You have a, a good running back, you have Diggs, you have tools. I'm drawing a blank on his tight end. Why am I can see his face, but why can't I think of his
I don't
name?
know. I don't
I'm
know.
too young to think of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
he likes his tight end there too. And so he has the ability to move the ball. And then don't sleep on him running. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it that often, but don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
So I think the Broncos defense clearly is going to have to step up and control this game. And if they don't, they're going to just get blown out at home.
Yeah.
But I do think that the spread of 3.5 for the Pats probably accurate. I wouldn't I would take that. But
Yeah. So what does that make them? 6 at home, probably.
mhm. Yep,
So,
yep.
I mean, the odds makers have a lot of weight behind the Patriots in this game for sure.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And then the other one is the Rams and Seahawks, where the Seahawks are favored by 1.5.
Oh, it went
Um,
down. Okay.
yeah, yep. And it's at Seattle, and that's again just a very difficult stadium for people. But you're looking at Matt Stafford, who more than likely will be the MVP.
Yep.
He's led the league in yards and in touchdowns, and he knows his conference. And I think that's the one advantage of dealing with Stafford is that he has, in my opinion, a healthier offense and knows how to deploy all of it.
Yep.
And his defense is not as good as Seattle, but I think that I would take his longevity, his just veteran status compared to Darnold, who's going to be and he's healthy. Darnold's healthy now. He had a little oblique problem, little tweak, but he lost one of his running backs in Charbonneau. Darnold did,
Mhm.
which sucks for me because he was on my playoff fantasy
Mhm.
team, but whatevs. Um, so they're a little beat up on offense, and
Yep.
I think that it's going to have an impact. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a very close game. I could see this going either way, but I actually like the Rams. But
Yeah. Well, I think up until last week, we forgot about the 12th man. Like, there's been a
yeah,
few years since there's been a playoff game in Seattle,
yep,
right? Makes a big difference.
yep, yep,
Listen to an interview with Andrew, is it Whitfield or Whitford, who's on Amazon now or
yeah. What a great
ESPN?
guy! What a
Yeah,
great
former
guy!
Rams player. He
Yeah,
said that McVay would practice silent all week. So expect the Rams to go silent count all game to avoid having to deal with the issues with
yeah,
the noise in Seattle. The
yeah.
Rams are 5-0 in NFC Championship games.
Hmm.
So you think about that stat. But I'm going with the Seahawks. I just think at the end of the day, their defense is just so much better than the Rams offense. And
Stafford struggled a little bit in these playoffs, a
yeah,
little bit. I mean, he's kind of gotten a little lucky, but he struggled a little bit. And I don't know that you can do that against the Seahawks defense. But there is just something telling me that Stafford is like, I want to be done, and I'm going out like
go
John
on top.
Elway,
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
out on top. You see
Yep.
the gray now on Stafford, and I
Well,
still
remember, like,
remember.
he wasn't playing in training camp, and he was like laying on glass tables and doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he was fine, has an
Yeah,
MVP season, and here we are. But I mean, I just think if they can get the pressure on him, it's going to be a long day for the Rams
yeah.
offense, and I think that's, I mean, 1.5 points is just so few
Close.
points.
Yeah. And I mean, I just think he wants to end his career, and maybe it's just everybody was so focused on Josh Allen when nobody wants it worse. But like
Yeah.
this guy may silently be like, "Oh no, there is
Yeah.
someone that does and I'm going to get it." I still remember being on the Minnesota House floor because I'd always get angry when we would have session on draft day night. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, "Really guys? Why?"
Okay.
And it
Yeah.
was the
All right.
year
In
that
April.
yeah, it it was the year that Stafford got drafted. And I mean, it's just everybody had so much excitement for him, and he really has been just a tremendous player. So this if this is his last,
Yeah.
season, then good for him. But I think if he wins a Super Bowl, he's gonna be like, I'm out. I
Yeah.
don't
I
want
mean,
to
why
deal with
wouldn't
it.
you? And that, because there was always
Correct.
kind of chatter already at this season he would be.
Yep.
And the rag on him always was put up unbelievable Hall of Fame stats, but it's Detroit, never won anything. finally win something, and then he can go out on top again. And yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be the better of the two games, I think, to watch.
Yep.
I could be eating my words. We'll see. But
Yeah, no, I agree. And then Luke, we do prop plays
got him.
every week, and you got them. So who do you have for prop plays? What are you recommending for folks?
Okay, so in the Patriots Broncos, I'm going under 42 and a half.
Okay.
The Broncos have gone under 10 times this season.
Okay.
You've got no Bo Nix. You got a high of 20 degrees in Denver,
Uh-huh.
and you got two defenses that are going to beat each other. I say go under. My
Mm-hmm.
other prop there, though, and we talked about this, if Drake May's got to get out and maybe do a little naked bootleg, I say plus 250 anytime touchdown for Drake May. He's got 6
Hmm.
rushing touchdowns in his 2 seasons. Now is the time for him to get a little risky,
Aggressive
aggressive, and run one in. So those are
for
my
sure.
two props: Drake May plus 250 anytime, and under 42 and a half.
Okay. And then what about did you do one for the Seahawks?
Yep.
Other one? No.
Yep, Seahawks. I picked Seahawks at negative 2.5. Now it's 1.5, so even better.
Yeah.
Seattle's 12 and a half, or excuse me, 12 and 5 against the spread this season. And so I just think, 1.5 points is just unbelievably low at home. I've got two plays for the Rams, both receiving. These are a
Mhm.
little nutty, but that's why the odds are a little bit better. Puka over 110 yards receiving.
Yeah.
It's plus 146, so you tease that up to the 110. His best career game was earlier this season against Seattle with 225 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So if they key on Puka, then you go Devontae, also plus 60 yards receiving,
Hmm.
plus 151 on the odds.
And you got
So,
Parkland
yeah,
that Stafford likes.
yeah,
So yeah. So I think or Parkinson that
yeah, Cody
that he
Parkinson.
likes. Yeah. And so yeah, excellent. And I think those are spot on. I have for the Seattle Rams game. I I think that Darnold has last week was not able to get to Jackson Smith Nigba until like the last 2 minutes
Yep,
of
yep.
the last series. He got like 40 yards or something like that. But I think they know that they cannot let him not be a factor in this game.
It
So I
has to be
think
a factor.
yeah, he has to be. And so I think they're going to make sure the game plan revolves a little bit around him. And again, Rams D is good, but it's not the best, and the pass is not as good as the rush. So I do think that he will have over 6.5 receptions. So
Oh, okay.
that's my pick for him. And
Yep.
then Cortland Sutton without Bo Nix, a week to get a game plan going. Cortland Sutton was not even a factor in the previous 2 games. And
Yep.
so, unless this is like a head fake and they're like all eyes on Sutton and just get that ball to him and he'll take it from here, buddy. But you got a new quarterback that hasn't played in God knows how long, and he's going in a championship game against an incredible defense in the Patriots. I'm saying Cortland Sutton under 4.5 receptions.
Whoa, okay. All right.
So I just I think they're gonna overwhelm the young quarterback.
I
So
think
I
you're
just
right.
think it's gonna be either chip downs or they'll be using their stud running back, Franklin.
Yep.
So okay, last question before we'll sign off. Again, this is a put me on the spot. As a Bears fan, do you have a favorite moment like that you tell your kids? And you have a lot of kids. I mean, what is your favorite Bears fan that you share with your kiddos?
Uh, Probably the Devin Hester return in the Super Bowl 2005.
There you go. That
Yeah.
was that was that was quite epic.
But,
Yeah.
and because they lost, like whenever I talk to my kids about sports moments, I talk about the 2016 World Series more than anything with the Cubs.
You
They
and
won,
McDaniel. You
right?
and McDaniel.
And it's just a different story. It was a late game because the rain delay. My oldest, who's now 12, was like 4 years old at the time, or younger, 3, I guess she was 3. I woke her up and said, "This is never going to happen again in your lifetime. You have to sit here and watch this with me," as they won the World Series.
Well, as a Twins fan, I've seen it twice in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So
See, now that's
87 and
very
91. And I still to this day, as a dad, you'll appreciate this. I still to this day remember my dad taking me out of junior high to
for the
go
parade.
see the parade. And you know, you don't forget stuff like that. So your daughter will remember that.
Unless you live in Boston, there's really very few times that anybody's going to be able to see that. I mean, you had,
Fair.
yeah, I mean, they win every other year. There's a Boston team and winning the championship.
Fair point. Fair point. Well, Luke, thank you so much for joining,
Thanks for having me.
and appreciate you taking time to talk about the Bears and football. And make sure you stay warm this weekend because it is freaking cold out there. So, I am Vikings fan Karla Bigham,
I'm Bears super fan, Luke Hellier.
and we are wrong
Wrong
about
about
sports.
sports.